All right. Well, final questions. First one is for Lynn. Lynn, if people forget everything else you've said, what is one thing they can do to improve their nutrition?
So I would say, again, focusing on one thing to change. So my top one is actually what Greg did, and that is to cut out sugar in your beverages. So to really cut out sodas, juices, unless you're making a smoothie, in which case, try to have more vegetables and fruit in there, and really try to get those beverages to be, calorie free. I think it's a great way to save on extra calories. If you already do that and you're like, okay, well, I do that, so what else can I do? I would say maybe pick something like the snacking, eliminating late night snacking. But pick one thing that is something that you could change to cut back calories, and just do that one thing.
Excellent.
I like that. I have a friend of mine when he was in high school was quite a bit overweight. He was kind of pudgy. He's like 5'8" and like 210 pounds. He did two things. He stopped drinking soda and he started marathon training. So he started long distance running. I saw the guy before the summer, and then after the summer I saw him, he was like 40 pounds lighter. And so it was like the craziest transformation. And just those were the two things he did. That was it. So it doesn't have to be overly complicated, right?
And you're saying he started
Exactly.
training for the marathon. He didn't actually run the marathon yet. So he
He
even
did
just training
eventually.
for it. But I mean, that's after you
Yeah.
saw him. So even just starting to train for it was like helpful.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So Tyler, if people forget everything else you've said, what is one thing they can do to improve their physical fitness?
I'd want to highlight again that fitness is not a one size fits all. Okay, so find the thing that works for you with your schedule, your fitness level, your personality. Like find something that just gets you moving a little bit more, but also understand, that as I mentioned earlier, fitness is a lifelong journey. Okay. And it will change, it will morph throughout your life, but it's not going to look the same when you're 20, you're 30, 40, 50. Like it's going to change, but fitness should always be part of what you do. Think about how you identify yourself. Um, the way you identify yourself is going to lend a lot towards your behaviors. If you identify as somebody who does fitness, if you identify as an athlete or as somebody who is really into health and fitness, that's the way you present yourself to others. Your behaviors are going to tend to follow that. And the goal is to make it a lifelong journey. It will be work. It's not always going to come easy. It should never be drudgery. You should never punish yourself with fitness, but understand like every day taking a little bite of fitness and making it part of the fabric of who you are, I think is the key thing. If you can manage that, then all of the details after that of like how much you do and what exercises and what machines you buy, like those are all details that will come into play. The primary thing is to make it a part of who you are and what you do every day.
Craig, if there's any piece of advice about fitness or nutrition or health in general that you would give to people, what would it be?
Um, well, I like what Lynn said about just kind of start small, find one thing every day. I know for me, um, I rather than exercising or eating right to lose weight, I think of it kind of the opposite. I exercise so I could eat whatever the heck I want, and because I like food. So for me, what works is identifying that time of day where I know I'm going to get my workout in. For some people, it might be in the evening. It might be taking like a short break on your lunch hour to do some yoga, something like that. For me, it's first thing in the morning. I need to get out of bed and walk right into the gym before I see the kids, before I even have a cup of coffee. It doesn't matter. It, if I get that workout in first thing in the morning, the rest of my day is good. And I don't live with the guilt of not getting my workout in. I don't try to wedge it in, uh, time wise throughout the rest of the day. I could give my day to my family, to work, to whatever I need to do, and I feel good because I got my workout in. So finding that time of day that works best for you, and it's going to be different for everybody.
And the piece of advice I would give, and this might just be for people like me, is that accept and embrace the fact that it might be a little hard, especially at first. I think so often we see these things like, oh, lose weight and 3 easy steps, or lose weight quickly in 1 week. You won't even, no pain. Where I think getting myself into that mindset where this is going to be hard. This is going to be hard. This is not always going to be, it should never feel like punishing myself or like I'm doing this to be mean to myself, but this is going to be a real challenge for me because sometimes I will lack that motivation and that self-discipline, and I'm going to have to keep myself motivated and disciplined. And I need to expect that this is going to be hard, and it's not always going to be easy, and I'm not always going to feel like doing it, and it's not always going to feel super pleasant. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that I'm doing something wrong. That doesn't mean that I shouldn't do it anymore. Just because I think I don't know, that just helped me to like know that this was going to be a commitment, and it was going to, at least for a while, at least for me, it's something that I have to think about. And um especially when you start working out, like I am going to sweat in places that I did not even know I had. It's going to feel different. I'm going to feel out of breath. I'm going to feel really tired. And I just have to accept that's fine. That's how it's supposed to be. And maybe I've gotten to a point in my life where I'm not used to that. I'm not used to those physical sensations. And I'm going to get used to them again. And I did. So I guess that would be what I would recommend for people to just understand that, no, I'm not saying that you should punish yourself, but for those of us maybe who aren't elite athletes or who have gone a while, understanding that there are some physical sensations that come with working out that you might not like, the being super out of breath and super tired that you might not be used to at the moment. And that's fine. You can do hard things. You can endure, like you can put up with things that don't at first feel pleasant or whatever, and you can get past that.
Welcome to lactic acid buildup.
Oh my gosh, oh my goodness. And yeah, so
drink water.
Well, all right, well, thank you guys so much. And I hope that everyone who's watching this found it useful. And if you have any more questions, please feel free to email us, and we hope to do something like this again if you guys like it and if you find it helpful. And if there are any of you who are watching this that feel like you have something that you'd like to contribute, maybe you have recently had like a weight loss journey that was successful, and you'd like to share like what worked for you, we'd love to talk with you. Obviously there are lots of logistical and accessibility barriers for people who are blind and low vision at times. And so the more information we can share with each other, the better. And we will put links to Tyler's, Tyler's service, Revision Fitness, and anything Lynn has in mind. And if you guys have any apps, Tyler and Lynn, if you could send, I know Tyler, you said there was one app that you recommended, some calorie counter. If you could send me that, and I'll put those in the notes. But thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot.